All right, let's get on to your Chicago Bears, Ben Isaacs. And I'm going to pose the question to you. Is your quarterback, Mitch Trubisky, the reason that the Bears won't get to the Super Bowl this season?
No, I don't think he's the reason. The reason may be that Matt Nagy doesn't give him the play calls, doesn't give him the offensive strategy that will play to his strengths and win the games. In week one, he wasn't good. He was staring down wide receivers, which made it easy for what seemed to be a very good Packers defense. But the play calling is what took the game away from the Bears.
They don't have faith in him, do they? I was chatting to Jay Bell about this, and he was saying, watch the first 15, 20 plays that were scripted. You can tell so much about what a coordinator, what a head coach thinks about his quarterback and his offense from those first 15, 20 plays of a week one game. They don't have confidence in him, do they?
I think it didn't help that Trey Burton wasn't there, who's a kind of been a safety blanket. Yeah. Exactly. But they went away from the run so quickly. Matt Nagy is the kind of offensive genius, kind of mad professor style. And I think he outsmarted himself. I think if he was able to put more runs in the playbook, get Montgomery involved, get Tariq Cohen, who didn't have a carry, go with Cordell Patterson on 3rd and 1, who's not the sort of player who you're going to have on a 3rd and 1.
Tariq Cohen not having a carry, automatic alarm bells there.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to use him in the passing game, but just you've got to make the other team respect the run, obviously. Sure. And they were expecting Mitch to pass all the time because it became clear that they were going empty backfield. They were not running the ball.
Can this be put solely on Matt Nagy's shoulders, though?
I would say 80%.
Really?
Yeah, I would say 80% him, 20% Mitch at certain points was missing throws that he could have done, that should have been complete. But with the right play calling, I think Mitch would have been okay, and you just need him to be above average.
Well, that's a fair point. Going back to the original question, at what level does he need to perform? What is competent enough with this superb defense around him to be able to stay tight in games, 21-17 affairs, get him over the line? Looking at his stats, and I know we can overreact massively to these, 26-45 completion rates, at barely 50%. Yep. No touchdowns, through that pick, of course, as well. And you've got to ask, on a broader level, the draft class he came out from, you're a resident college expert, Benny. Mahomes, Watson in that mix. He was taken ahead of them.
All through that whole kind of draft build-up, I was saying, I hope it's Deshaun Watson. I certainly at that point put Deshaun Watson well above Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes has been absolutely lights out, an incredible player, and has been better than Deshaun Watson. But at that point, to me, I put both of those players before Trubisky. But what I liked was that the Bears front office really, really wanted Trubisky. It wasn't that Trubisky fell into them and they thought, okay, let's take him. They traded up. That was the guy they wanted. Yeah. And at least at that point, you know that they're committed. They will have seen everything there is to see. They will have spent many hours speaking to him. At the very least, that's who they wanted. But of course, Matt Nagy was not in the building at that time.
Right.
But if we're going to talk kind of...
So what's your hunch? If Matt Nagy had been in the building,
I just don't know. If Matt Nagy, he is on my speed dial.
What's happened?
If Matt Nagy was in the building and when they drafted him, then you know that everyone is all in. Obviously, Matt Nagy's not going to say anything that contradicts the selection of Trubisky. Sure. But if Trubisky let's say he has a bad season, and that's the reason. Let's say he's considered to be the Bears' Blake Bortles. I think you draft a quarterback next year. It's going to be a good draft class. You get someone in and you get moving. The Bears should have taken a quarterback project in the draft anyway. They don't have a young quarterback on the roster who's there just learning.
That's faintly ridiculous. Trubisky's only been there 5 minutes.
I know, but I think you should always have a project quarterback.
Okay.
As your if you're going to have a third choice quarterback, don't have two grizzled
That's the luxury,
veterans.
Isn't it? Where you've got to have a solid backup.
Yeah.
But then do you have the luxury of a third one on there as a project?
But what you don't do is have two veterans backing him up.
That's usually not a great shout.
Hope you enjoyed the Nat Coombs Show presented by Paddy Power Fantasy. There's plenty more where that came from. Just click subscribe to ESPN UK and you won't miss a trick.